Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to S&M. I'm Eve. This is Tally.
Hi.
So how's everyone? It's been an interesting week. Okay,
It
I'm just
has
making sure
been an
sound levels.
interesting.
Make sure sound levels are registering for once. Has been an interesting week.
It has been an interesting week.
Well, tell me about your week, Tally. I think you have more interesting news than I do.
Well, you know how I was looking for another job, because I was having issues with my job with being allergic to the shit we used. It was making me really sick. So I was like, right, I'll keep this job and look for another job because it looks better. Like seriously, if you want to leave your job, don't just leave your job and then look for another job. No, keep that job until you find another. I found another job. It's mine. I start Friday.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Miss Tita.
I handed in my 2 weeks notice ages ago, just like, yeah, I know this job's mine. I knew it was going to be mine.
Yeah, I knew you were like, because you just got to the point where you're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to keep this job until I get the other job, but I'm dying here. Like right now, today, if my eye looks weird, for whatever reason, I'm having like an allergic reaction right here in this corner of my eye. So if my eye looks a little puffy, that's why. I'm sorry, guys. But
See, I was
the
getting
show
that
must
so
go
bad, I
on.
wanted to pull my eyes out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, let's see what we got in chat. We got Hikaru, we got Raziel, we got Seamus, we got Kat. Hi guys, how's it going? I'm glad we got so many dudes in the audience today because we got an interesting topic for later.
Oh, yes we do. Yes we do.
Yep.
Oh, I'm excited for that one. Guys are going to love it.
Do you have anything going in the background? You're lagging a little bit, like your video feed is.
Yeah, I was just buffering. There we go.
Okay, just making sure.
I forgot to open the chat.
That's okay. Here, I get the link. I can pop
I did
out
it.
the chat. You got it?
No, that's what was loading. That was what was loading.
Why is this just now being told me it's a feature? New pinned chat. You can now pin a message to the top of your live chat for viewers to read. Click any message to pin it. What the? I mean, like, you know, I could say that, can pin that Seamus is dying of humidity right there. Just pin it right there at the top of the stream. You know what I'm saying?
So you can.
Yeah. Like, why was that?
Why is that only just become a thing that we know about?
I'm annoyed. Why is this just now telling me I can do this? Thanks a lot, YouTube. Goodness gracious, kids. But as for my week has been actually productive. Last week I felt like absolute dog shit. Outside of like streams, I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to sleep all the time. And even still, my sleep schedule is still fucked up from last week.
Yeah.
But even with that, out of the way, like I didn't want to. I felt like I was depressed. Like I just felt despondent and sad about everything.
You feeling better now?
Yeah, because a couple days ago I was able to actually get up and go to the grocery store, which I hadn't done. I was living off of like fast food and delivery because it was like I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I
Like
know those
nothing.
feelings.
So
Yeah,
it was.
we all get days like that.
This was a whole week that I was like this, and I had no idea why. It wasn't like I could point to a specific reason. I was just, and apparently I wasn't the only one. You know, I was talking to people about it, and they're like, "You too?" And I'm like, "Okay, so it's not just me. Apparently, there's something in the water, something going around. I don't know." But it was
Sounds
kind of crazy.
it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like you.
Hmm?
Sounds like there was definitely something going around.
Yeah, but whatever it was, you know, it's gone now. Knock on wood.
Well, that's good. That's good. Okay,
You want to start the first article, don't you?
I do.
Okay. We're gonna start the first article. And it's not the one that she's excited for. She's excited about the second article, but we're gonna start the first
I
article
am
so we can get to the second
I
one.
am. Yeah, we're gonna go through this one quickly, have a little bit of a discussion about it, and then we're gonna go on to the. Yeah.
Sorry about all the ads. Some of these websites won't let you access them without showing the ads. So, it says, we found a hoard of essays by schoolgirls in 1937 about their lives. They're beautiful and brilliant. Pupils at Pikes Lane Elementary School were among the people who wrote about topics as diverse as money, life goals, work, and heaven and hell in essays discovered decades later by historian Hester Barron and Claire Langhammer.
Sorry, Claire.
Sorry, Claire. We'll just call you Claire because I butchered your last name. By Hester Barron and Claire Langhammer. Well, how about that? A 12-year-old girl chews the end of her pen, deep in thought. Her teacher is asked what she wants to be when she grows up. I'd like to be able to keep a shop, she writes in neat, curling script. As I like serving the little boys and girls with sweets. But you have to be trustworthy, she adds. In some stories, they test you by leaving 2 shilling coin around. If you're honest and give it back, you get the job. But if you're not honest, and they think you, hang on, words no do. But if you are not honest, you think they have lost it and you keep it and you're sacked. It's May 1937 and the girl is a school child in Bolton. Over the next few months, she and her classmates will write several essays about their homes and how they spend their time. About the royal family, about the cinema, about heaven, about their dreams. These girls want to be actresses, authors, seamstresses, and chemists, not working in the local cotton mills. There's no premonition of the Second World War that's soon to come. As they sit in their classroom, Whitehall mandarins are quietly making plans for the evacuation of young children out of British cities. Oh,
Yeah.
it was 1937, yeah. We were like,
All right,
okay, we gotta get these kids out of here type of situation, but
Well-
these kids are oblivious to it, is what they're saying.
The Germans bombed our cities. They completely ignored the countrysides. They went for cities.
Mm-hmm.
So in order
Like
to
London and
protect
stuff.
the children, yeah, we called it the Blitz.
Yeah.
In order to protect the children, they were sent to stay with families in the countryside. They evacuated as many children as they could. Some parents didn't want to send their children.
See, I'm
But-
sitting here looking at this thinking, oh, this is gonna be cute and sweet, and then it's like, you know, then we're gonna drop the London Blitz, literally drop the Blitz on top of you, and it's like, oh, shit just got real.
Well, this is
These kids are
well-
talking about this stuff while the Blitz is going on.
This is just before the Blitz started.
Yeah. I mean, the war is coming, the war.
Mm,
World War II was ridiculous.
yeah.
But, like I said, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this is going to be a cute little, Oh.
Well, was the clue not there when I told you the year? I sent you the article.
It was there, but I was
The
thinking
year.
this was in America, and then it was like, oh, but this is in the UK. Things were
No,
vastly different in 1937 in the UK.
People is a UK like news gossip thing. This just happens to be one of the articles that came up on my suggested page when I opened my web browser.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Oh, but
it's
this is in the
British.
UK. Sorry. Is that what I sound like? God. I feel like I need to pitch my voice up.
You sound fine.
I need to pitch my voice up more. So, anyway.
As long as you don't do the Valley Girl.
Oh my god, Tally, like...
Nails.
I'd love doing it just to see your nose crinkle in derision.
It's like nails down a chalkboard. I have a chalkboard. I can demonstrate.
It probably won't pick up on your mic, sadly enough. Sorry, kids, you don't get to hear Tally's chalkboard nails demonstration. Eve's voice is great. Thank you, Jack. You're so sweet.
Jack, I agree. Eve's voice is great when she's not doing the Valley Girl voice.
The classmates will grow into young women against the backdrop of war. They will conduct their first courtships in blacked out streets and grieve for boyfriends and brothers conscripted abroad. They will join ranks of women mobilized into war service in the new munitions, shell filling or aircraft factories, or follow mothers and elder sisters into the cotton mills.
No, they were girls of the home front, and we farmed the land, we worked in the factories, we basically did all of the jobs that the men would normally do, but they were in war.
Yeah.
So we were doing them. And that's when women went, you know what? I like having my own money. I want to be able to work.
I mean, they realized that they were like, hey, we can pull the weight just as well as the men can. Maybe we should have equal rights too. And, it all went downhill from there,
Well, women didn't get equal pay until, the 60s. But so housewives were doing a lot of these jobs, and they were getting paid a lot less. And then when the men came back, they were like, I want to continue working, and they just didn't care that they were getting less. And then in the 60s, women were like, you know what? Actually, I want to earn exactly the same. I want to earn
I'm doing the same job. Why am I not getting the same pay? Yeah.
Equal pay for equal work, and that's where it should have ended.
They will join the ranks of women mobilized into war service in the new munitions, shell filling, or aircraft factories, or follow mothers and elder sisters into the cotton mills, which will switch to the production of terrapins, parachutes, and military uniforms. When peace comes, they will still have their lives ahead of them, and they will forget about the essays that they wrote, which will be stored in the archive of the research organization Mass Observation, waiting to be read. As historians, we have been long fascinated by mass observation, which was established in 1937 by a group of intellectuals to seek the views of ordinary people about the world that was changing around them. In its vast collection of stories from housewives about cobbling meals together on the wartime rations, alongside secret admissions of affairs, young workers' descriptions of their dreams of the night before, or their opinions of radio shows and cinema releases, and the thoughts of pensioners who reflected on the war and politics, but also on their choice of wallpaper.
That mass observation is why the internet is such a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is just a collection of what regular people think. If you think everything that's online. But it is so much more than that.
I mean, I think there was something about, writing things down. If someone was going to take the time to keep a journal or write a letter to someone,
oh yeah,
it was usually something more important than just, check out my lunch that I had today at this kitschy little cafe around the corner, like social media, you know what I mean?
You know what, I do agree with you, and that's why that's why people like blogs.
Because blogs are actually more long-form thinking rather than just tweets and tweets and stupid little messages and memes and stuff. It's actually stuff that's been thought out and worth, not everything's worth, I guess, engaging with, because there are definitely some stupid blogs out there, but in terms of but they're more likely to be well thought out and do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I've written essays too.
Words no do. Hi, Izu. Where was I? Scholars have used the archive to tell the history of modern Britain, but children are largely absent. Then, in the summer of 2014, we stumbled across an entry titled Children's Essays, Observations in Schools. The archive is held at the Keep near Brighton, a 10-minute walk from our University of Sussex campus, so we went to investigate. Here were thousands of pages by working-class girls and boys of all ages, writing about parents and friends, hopes and fantasies, daily routines. We knew immediately the preciousness of what we were looking at. Most of the essays, which make up the heart of our new book, Class of 37, were written by children living in Bolton or surrounding towns between 1937 and 1940. One particular class at Pikes Lane Elementary School was more prolific than others. They comprised thoughtful essays on topics such as how I spent my holidays, heaven and hell, and what I learn at home that I don't learn at school. As we traced their thoughts, we started to get to know them and care about them. The girls' thoughts in their lives and their world. Madge, 12 on Easter Sunday. Did I say that right? Madge? M-A-D-G-E?
March. What?
Madge. I don't know.
Where are we looking?
The first letter entry here.
I think it's Madge. I don't know.
M-A-D-G-E?
I'm guessing Madge.
Okay. I don't know. It's a British name. I was asking the Brit.
You really think like we normally call our kids shit like that? Really? We use the same names you do.
I mean, anyway, quote, Sunday was a nice day. The only thing that was wrong with it was there was no Easter egg for me. All the others had one. Oh, the indignity.
I know.
Annie, 13, on money. You use money to buy clothes, shoes, and toffees, etc. At the weekend, when you get the wages, you think you can have a good time, but no, there is rent, club, and other things to pay for. By Monday, it's nearly all gone.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. Hi, Kefkers. Hi, Rick.
That's a smart 13-year-old. I bet she went far in life.
Shit. Joan, 12, imagining a different place to live. I should very much like to own a farm in the hills of Wales. I should have a garden at the front of rambling. Wait, I should have a garden at the front full of rambling
roses.
Forget-me-nots and other dainty-looking flowers. Sorry, I gotta.
You know what? I hope she got what she wanted.
I hope
And you
so,
know
too.
what? Back then, I can imagine it was a lot easier.
I don't know. What with the war on and all.
Well, she was only 12, so like the war ended. What was it? 6 years later? No, the war ended 7 or 8 years later. 1945.
Yeah. Even
And
still,
so,
a lot can happen in that time.
yeah, so I can imagine. I hope she got what she wanted. It was a lot easier at that time in order to pay for that, because everything was so much cheaper and your money went further. But
You know, the phrase "well, with the war on and all" reminds me of a scene from Doctor Who.
yeah,
There's one episode in the first season of the reboot, I should say, the Christopher Eccleston season, where the late he was like something had happened to the course of the thing, and like people who had been injured or hurt in some way, their bodies had been healed. So when they get to the end of the episode, and this little old lady comes up to the doctor, and she's like, "Doctor, something very strange has happened." And she says, "What is it, ma'am?" And she says, "Well, when I checked into this hospital, I only had one leg. Now I've got two." And he says, "Well, there is a war on. Maybe you miscounted." And I was just like, it's just such a British way to explain something away, like.
yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not even gonna argue with
And
that.
I bet you
Yeah.
money. I bet you money that little old lady didn't think nothing else of it after that. She's like, meh, and then moved on. It's like y'all don't question
You know what?
shit.
It's just like, no, the whole reason is it's like, well, we're in the middle of a war. It's very stressful. I'm under a lot of pressure. You know what? I'm accepting it. Like,
Maybe I miscounted how many legs I had.
no, I can imagine she knew she didn't miscount. She just went, you know what?
Whatever.
Like
I said, that's kind of y'all's attitude about a lot of things. It's just like, you know what? Fuck it, whatever.
You know what? It's a good thing that's happened. I'm just going to accept it.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? Don't act like that if something bad happens. But if something good happens, just accept it.
Okay. Jesse, 13, on mill work. When you're working in the mill, it makes your mother a great deal of washing. For you have 2 changes of pinafores?
Pinafores.
You have 2 changes of pinafores a week. But if you work in an office, you don't need a pinafore of any description, but just a clean dress.
You know that apron I was wearing when I was Alice?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pinafore.
Oh, okay. So she say, I got 2 of these bitches, and I gotta, go through 2 of them a week,
When I worked in the hotel, I only had to wash my pinafore every 2 weeks.
I mean,
because I was in a hotel. I was fine. It was just something to put over the top of your clothes to protect your clothes from bleach. But because I made the beds instead of cleaning the bathroom, I never got covered in bleach, so I didn't have to wash it very often.
Molly, 12, on heaven. I think heaven is just another world like the one we live on at present, except that it might not have pictures and dance halls.
Why not?
I don't know. Jesus won't let people dance, apparently, according to the Baptist here, so.
She's probably Church of England. That's Anglican.
I know. I'm teasing. Amelia, 12, and what she learns at home. At home, I learned to be polite and ladylike. I also learned to clean and sweep the house. Sweep the house out if anyone is ill. I also make beds, iron, wash the pots, and many other little odd jobs. Sometimes I do some mopping. I sometimes say no to something which I should say yes. To which I should say yes.
Learning to take care of your household. It's a good skill for everyone to have.
We read the words of 12-year-old Madge, who aspired to be an author and spent her spare time, quote, trying to make up good, sensible poems. Writing about hell, she noted that of the devil that, quote, people say he burns you in a fire, but I don't say that's true. He, the man who has no power, is trying all he can to take God's. Oh. That's actually kind of fucking deep for a 12-year-old.
Well, when you think about it, the whole concept of hell being fire and brimstone, that only came out when Dante's Inferno was released. Up until then, fire and brimstone, like, that's just how we see hell now. But back when the Bible was written, there was no mention in the Bible of fire and brimstone other than on earth. Or God bringing down fire and brimstone. But it's never mentioned in the Bible when it comes to hell.
Describing an imagined future as a farm worker, she asked us to, quote, just think of how nice and fresh cream would be. Anyone who reads this, I hope, it does not make your mouth water as it has made mine.
You know what? I can imagine if she was evacuated to Cornwall, she was very happy because we love our cottage cream. Like, we make ice cream from that stuff. It is so good. Like, yeah. It's really good.
I do love cream.
Seriously, you want to try cottage cream ice cream? It's so good. It's a lot thicker and denser than regular ice cream, so you only need like 1 scoop, but it's so good. Oh, that kind of cream.
Yeah, especially when we make pies out of it. Anyway,
you can use cottage cream to make pie. It's just
oh my
god. I was going with the mind of what this kid was thinking.
Yeah, it's kid. We're going to think along the lines of the kid because I was making it weird. Mustafa says, don't tell Kayla. Kayla knows all about that. Mass observation employed investigators to study its subjects. One of them was Frank Cawson, fresh from Oxford University. About one girl at Pikes Lane, he commented, quote, Father Lorry driver swears a lot. Spoil v. Scold. Mother admits can't manage her. Very funny looking. Father made her stick up for herself. Oh. Okay, hang on. Father made her stick up for herself. Very pugnacious. The crooner at concert. Untidy clothes. He was describing Madge. We are troubled by the contrast between Cawson's careless comments. Wait, what? We are troubled by the contrast between Cawson's careless comments and Madge's articulate essays. He was taking notes. What the hell?
Just because someone is articulate, it doesn't mean they don't have an awful home or school life.
Well, okay, I'm going to be a little annoyed here because it seems like, all right, they employed investigators to study the subjects. One of them was Frank Cawson, fresh from Oxford University. He's a university student. Shorthand is something a lot of university students learn when they're taking notes. They just go to scribble because they have to take in a lot of information. You were in college. You know what it's like. You're sitting there listening to a professor talk. You're scribbling down notes and you're just writing whatever you can think of that will make you remember this conversation later when you're actually writing stuff out.
Yep.
This is just his notes. It's not like he wrote like this is the essay, you know. He just took notes on what he read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
He
do
was
that.
describing, we were troubled by the contrast between Caustin's careless comments and Madge's articulate essays. There was surely more to her than his cold, rushed appraisal suggested. This was a girl who had told us that she was appreciated most in others. What she appreciated most in others was friendship, love, and kindness. I mean, like I said, he was taking notes. It's not like he was just like, this is all I have to think on the subject. He might have actually written more somewhere else, but that's note taking.
When he got
That's
home
shorthand.
and when he went home and he actually wrote out his paper about it,
Yeah.
or his report. he
Father,
would have gone
lorry
into
driver
more
swears a
detail.
lot. Spoil versus scold. Mother admits can't manage her. Very funny looking. Father made her stick up for herself. Very pugnacious. The crooner at the concert. Untidy clothes. You know, that's notes. That's little bullet points
He's
of like,
basically
this is,
he's basically writing down things that he's picking up that she said in her essays.
yeah, that's
So
notes.
he can.
I mean, that's,
so he
they
can
act
write a
like that.
report
That
about it.
was, yeah. I don't know. We wanted to know more about her and her classmates, so we hired a genealogist and sought out their descendants, including Madge's daughter, who lives in Southport, an hour's drive from Bolton. Chatting with the relatives was intense and emotional. The girls became mothers in the 1940s and early 50s, and their sons and daughters are mostly grandparents themselves now. It was oddly disconcerting to hear these elderly voices telling us about their mothers who lived in our minds so vibrantly as girls. We sent everyone copies of their mothers' essays. Some found it tempting to search the essays for signs of the women they had become. A few could recognize their mother's handwriting. There were tears. Madge died following a heart attack in 1981, still in her mid-50s. She had long forgotten her ambition to become a novelist and could never have imagined that one day her words would be published after all. Quote, "She would be so proud," said her daughter. And that's the cover of their book, Class of 37, Voices from Working Class Girlhood. And that's the end of the story.
It is, yeah.
And that, like I said, I pushed back on their critique of Mr. Caustin here. They're just like, well, he was just a man who didn't take this little girl very seriously. And it's just like, no, he was taking notes. Calm down, kids.
As a journalist, the person that wrote this should know that.
Yeah, because journalists
you
do
read
similar
notes.
things.
Well, notes do sound very cold and heartless and blunt, but that's because they're notes.
They're notes. You flesh them out when you get home before you're writing a story or a paper or whatever. You add all that stuff back in. This is just bullet points. That's notes. I don't get it.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit angry.
But you know what?
About that now,
you know what? Man bad, girl good. So
let's laugh at something else then.
Let's laugh at something else. Boys, are you ready for this? You boys are not ready for this. This is gonna be something I'm gonna put to you dudes in the audience. So everybody, all the guys, pay attention, because this next part.
Oh, please do.
This next part. Hold up. I'm gonna get right up in your face. Here we go. This next part, I think, is gonna blow your fucking mind. It's kind of an old article, but I think just looking at the title alone, I think most women can go, that can't be true. Yeah,
and we've had someone that's lived on both sides of the fence to like.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. All right,
let's do this.
Okay, hang on. Gotta select the right window because I'm silly. All right. Study reveals exactly how obsessed men are with comparing penis sizes. It's pretty much all they talk about when they're alone.
Bullshit.
All right, look. Will I need a shot or a bottle for this? A shot would probably do you. Maybe 2. We'll just do 2.
2 shots.
2 shots. 2 shots.
Okay.
All right. So I will admit, I spent 30 years as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't exactly, for obvious reasons, the most masculine of men.
Mm-hmm.
But this wasn't ever maybe when you're a teenager and you're still kind of curious about that kind of thing, you might have some of these conversations with your buddies. But other than that...
In, like, high school?
Yeah, like in high school.
And younger?
Yeah.
High school and younger.
And I know men don't exactly change a whole lot. No offense, guys. They don't exactly change a whole lot into their 20s. They may mature some when they get to their 30s, but, from high school. But at the same time...
Someone told me once, men don't grow up. They just get bigger and their toys get more expensive.
Fair. I think that's somewhat fair. But guys are also a lot simpler than girls, too. There's a whole lot more emotions on this side of the fence. The guys are just like, I don't have time for all that shit,
Yeah.
Mustafa says, I have talked about many things with my male friends. Our dick size was not one of them. This article, first off, let's address that this is in Women's Health Mag, okay? This is on womenshealthmag.com.
Yeah.
I don't know what this has to do with women's health.
You know what? This was written by a woman who...
No, this was written by a man. This article was written by Kenny Thapong. I bet you he's gay, though.
I bet you he's gay.
No, but what gets me, and this will explain it to you right here, what the position they're coming from. In today's edition of Surprising Dude News, men check out each other's penises in the locker room. According to peer-reviewed study published in the book, quote, Jockocracy, Queering Masculinity in Sport last year.
I'm
gonna read that title of that book again.
Can I just say, I'm in a locker room all the time, because I go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, depending on what I'm doing at the time. And women kind of check each other out too.
Now, I will say there is some truth to that. Guys definitely do, but you don't make a thing of it. You don't make a thing of it in a men's locker room.
You don't. No, you don't in a women's locker room either.
No, because the dude, if you want your ass beat, you make it
look like that.
Right.
No,
right.
You just kind of think to yourself.
And guys do something similar. They'll just be like, okay, my dick may not be the biggest dick in the room, but at least I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? They do that kind of thing, or they just kind of, compare, mental comparison of just like, okay,
yeah,
I'm not.
Alternatively to going, I wish I had a butt like hers.
But you don't draw attention to it. You don't make a thing
we
about
also,
it.
In our own head, we go, ooh, my butt looks way better than hers. I feel better now.
Yeah, Mustafa said, fam, if you want to get flamed in the locker room, look at another guy's dick. Yeah, exactly. People they make little glances or whatever, but you don't get caught looking at another man's dick. You don't. Because that's how you get, oh, you gay, okay. It's like, no, man, I was just comparing sizes. No. You stay the fuck over there.
Women do it too.
Suddenly, every guy in that locker room becomes self-conscious because you were staring at somebody's dick. And he said, the only time I've ever discussed my penis sizes with women, and then it was pertinent to the conversation. But I just want to point out, according to peer-reviewed study published in the book, Jockocracy, Queering Masculinity in Sport. Okay, already right there. That's where I have a problem with this. Like,
I don't.
if
You know
you're
what?
gay, you're
I
talking about these
reckon.
things.
You know what? I reckon this was put in a peer-reviewed study published in a soft peer review. You know, like all of the social studies are. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
peer-reviewed the same way like physics is.
Yeah. Well, let's read about the study itself. They're talking about the study. For this small
Okay.
study, Christopher Morris Roberts, PhD, conducted 1-hour interviews with 8 male athletes from around London, 4 heterosexual and 4 homosexual men, to see if penis size affects male behavior in the locker room. Okay, look.
That's a very
Here's
small sample
already,
size.
yeah, here's already a gigantic problem. You asked 8 guys. You
8.
asked 8 guys from London. That's it. That was your study.
Half gay, half straight.
Half gay. Of course half of them are talking about dicks. They're gay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Like, how...
if you really want to conduct a study like this, you need to go around the world and ask as many male athletes as you possibly can.
I just...
You want to like you want a really good sample size? Do the study at the Olympics. All the male athletes that are at the
Shit,
Olympics.
at least if he'd have asked, like, you know, this took him a day. 8 male athletes from around London. It's 8 1-hour interviews. You could do that in a day.
Mm-hmm.
He literally just said, hey, I'm going to go ask my buddies on the fucking, you know, college. I'm going to go to a college and just pull 8 guys aside and just ask them about their dicks. Y'all talk about dicks? Okay, you know, I mean... What the fuck? Tally!
I know. I read
have
that
so
too.
much. And it said it's peer reviewed. Peer reviewed
How
in what
did
way? Did they just
how
look at
did
each
they
other's
find-
dicks? Is that the peer review? What the fuck?
How, like I said, that like it was a soft science peer review. Like they didn't do any peer review. They just had someone read through
How
it and
do
go,
you
"Yeah, that sounds
peer
about right."
review that? I'm gonna go
Thing
ask
is,
these
I can
same 8 guys, you know, about their
You know what-
dicks. You know, what the
You
fuck?
know what? Someone actually did an experiment where they wrote articles about social studies that were purely word salad and sent it to a peer-reviewed thing to get it published. And he wrote several of these. Like 8 of them got published. Like someone just reads it, go, yeah, that sounds about right, and then just publishes it. They don't do anything to actually peer review it.
For this small study, small is like overstating how big this thing was.
The small is the opinion word here.
For a sample size that was so minuscule that you can't possibly have gotten a accurate reading of anything.
I know.
Each one of these men represents one of the billion people in the world, Tally.
I know. And
Conducted 1-hour interviews with 8 male athletes.
It gets even worse. It gets even worse because they're like...
And to be fair, in London, y'all all a little funny anyway.
Yeah, London, they are pretty funny in London.
Raziel says, I was not, and am still not drunk enough for this. You better start chugging, bro, because we just started the article.
Oh, yeah, start trugging.
For this small study, Christopher Morris Roberts, PhD, conducted 1-hour interviews with 8 male athletes from around London, 4 heterosexual and 4 homosexual men, to see if penis size affects male behavior in a locker room. Yes, people really research this sort of thing, and it turns out they totally
Clearly
look.
they don't.
Well, yeah, dudes look,
Apparently
but you
they
don't
don't.
get caught looking.
No, apparently they don't actually
That's how you get
study.
beat up after school.
Apparently people don't actually research this kind of thing because this study, like, if they actually
Yeah,
research
right.
this kind of thing, that would be not be the sample size.
Seamus says, small study? No, a small study is in social science is 200 interviews. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Raziel says, I've been drunk for the past week except for yesterday. I mean, sounds like a good time. At least if you were drunk for fun reasons.
This is why I say they could have done this at the Olympics. Just gone to all of the male athletes that are playing in the Olympics right now and done this study.
Said all of the participants checked each other out below the belt when they hit the locker room. Okay, I will say there is a difference between, looking to compare your sizes or whatnot, or in the case of the gay dudes, looking to see what, guy next to you is working with. Yeah, exactly. And discussing it. There is a completely different thing besides glancing and looking and discussing it.
There is.
Seamus is handing out blunts. Y'all gonna be high for this. Morris Roberts explains that the gazing wasn't out of sexual attraction. Okay, for the poor gay guys, it wasn't out of sexual attraction. All right. But it was actually a way to size up other players, both in terms of actual size and in terms of masculinity/athletic ability. Most of the guys said they actually talked about their penises in the locker room. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
The four gay guys probably talked about their penises in the locker room. And even creating nicknames for each other's junk. And interestingly, men with the biggest packages were idolized by others and seen as more masculine. Apparently, penises were a conversation starter and a topic they could bond over. No, they were not. This one little weird ass group of guys, and the way that they describe this makes me think that he literally went to one locker room and asked people in one locker room about this.
Sounds about right.
Obviously, given the tiny sample size, it's unfair to say that all men do this. Still, it's an interesting sneak peek into how... Yeah, right. Still, it's an interesting sneak peek into how guys interact with each other. Plus, who knew there was so much penis talk happening in the locker room? That's it. That's the article. No. There is not penis talk happening in the locker room. Guys don't do that. It's not okay. Like, there is an... Tally. Let me explain something to you. You've probably never been in a men's bathroom.
I have. And not for the reason you think. when I was in high school, one of the guys took my bag and they ran into the locker room. And I was like, you know what? I know there's no one in there. Fuck you. I'm coming in.
Just, I don't care if it's you gonna give me my shit back, bitch.
I want my shit.
Good girl.
He thought I wasn't going to follow him in. He was very wrong. He gave it back very quickly.
I bet he did. So, damn it, I lost my thought. I was going to say, okay, guys, back me up here. When you go into a men's bathroom, and there are, let's say there's 4 urinals on the wall. You have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. We'll go left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a guy at number 2. What does the unspoken etiquette that every man that's ever been into a men's bathroom...
I know this!
Hang on, Tal. Let me get the words out my mouth. Get the words out my mouth. The etiquette that every man knows without even having to think about it. What is it, Tally?
Go to number 4.
Go to number 4. You don't go to number 1 or number 3. If there's an available urinal that's not next to the dude who's sitting there pissing, you go to the one furthest away from him. Like,
always have a one urinal gap between you.
Black Romeo says 4 or wait. You go to 4 or you wait. The only time it's ever acceptable, all the 4. The only time it's ever acceptable is if the bathroom's just like crowded and it's all the urinals full. Occasionally that's like, okay, there's a lot of people in here. We gotta get these dicks emptied and get the fuck back out of this bathroom. We're trying to just go and be done. At which point, but like Cap says, eye contact is forbidden. You walk up to that urinal, you look straight ahead, or you look down at yourself. You don't look to the left, you don't look to the right, you don't talk to nobody at the urinal. It's etiquette, and it's unspoken. Men are never told this as children. They aren't told this as young boys. They aren't told this as teenagers.
They just instinctively know.
It is an instinct. And it's really fucking strange because nobody ever had to tell me this when I went to a men's bathroom the first time. It just was one of those things of you observe the behavior and the men around you in that bathroom, and you follow suit.
I mean, other than very small children. Yeah.
Cap says 1 stall between each man. Exactly. If it's at all possible, you put space between you and the other men. And it's not even a straight or gay thing, because even gay men recognize the etiquette of a men's bathroom. To me, it's always been equated to a sense of vulnerability. Men typically don't like being in vulnerable positions, and they're typically not comfortable with it. So when you're in that vulnerable place, you got your pants. You got your
It's very different to women.
It's very different to women. Because
women will go to the bathroom.
Go ahead, yeah.
Like we will go into one stall with our best friend, and she stands there, and we just sat there. We're just having a conversation while one of us is peeing. And
girl,
then
we're out to dinner.
Out, and then the other one, she sits down and she pees, and we carry on our conversation, and then she sorts herself out, and then we go out and wash our hands.
Yeah, we're going out to dinner somewhere. You, me, and a bunch of other people. Hey, girl, I gotta go to the restroom. Come on, let's go. you grab a girlfriend, you go to the restroom, and then you sit there and you go in there at the restroom. You're sitting on the toilet. You're having a conversation. You're just whatever, man. It's not. It is a completely different world in a women's bathroom. I'm telling you. It is completely, reverse. Girls are way more comfortable in those positions, but girls are also, again, a lot more comfortable being in those vulnerable spaces and being open and vulnerable in general than men are. Because men, generally speaking, like I said, when I still keep this kind of habit, it's a holdover from my more masculine days, is that I don't like being bothered when I'm in the restroom. Don't bother me if I'm using the bathroom.
There are women that have a shy bladder, and if you're speaking to them, they can't pee. But a lot of women don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of if I'm in a public bathroom, I'm still kind of if I come out of the stall or whatever, it's fine. We're sitting there, and it's somebody I know. Well, I'll sit there and have a conversation with you while we're sitting there washing our hands or just freshening up our makeup or whatever. If I'm in the stall or if I'm in a bathroom by myself, I don't like to be disturbed. Especially don't come and go bang, 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 bang on that door and then act like you ain't finna rush me out. I will kick your ass. I will come out of that bathroom. I almost lost my job over it one time. This bitch come banging on the door at work. I was sitting on the toilet. I pulled my pants up. I opened that door and said, "What the fuck is your problem?" And she's like, "Well, you need to hurry up." And I'm like, "You need to fuck off." I almost threw hands at this old lady. Like this lady's like in her 50s, and I almost threw hands. It's like, you don't bother me while I'm in the restroom.
Well, that's just inconsiderate.
But yeah, no, like I said, there's an etiquette in men's restrooms. For women, it's a completely different story, but men don't do like that,
There's an etiquette in women's bathrooms as well. It's just a very different etiquette.
It's a very different etiquette. It's a whole different world. Like I said, girls will get up and go to the bathroom together. Dudes is like,
but
no,
women,
I'm going to the restroom. Leave me alone.
But women are more social than men when it comes to when it comes to doing something for a living. A man's going to do something that's very mechanical or thing driven, whereas a woman is more likely to be very social driven.
Black Romeo says when the bathroom is full and you have to stand close, you step up to the urinal. You get as close to that urinal as you can. Because not trying to show your dick to nobody. Ain't trying nobody see your dick. It's just, Go ahead, sorry. You were saying something, Tally.
But women are more social driven, so we will socialize in a bathroom.
Jackson, since we're on the topic of women in the bathroom, where did we get this notion that men mess up the bathroom more than women? Totally backwards. I 110% agree with you.
I disagree.
No, women are messy hoes.
Women are messy. I will give you that.
Women are nasty,
However,
leaving their fucking tampons
how-
places and shit.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, that reminds me. When I was living in dorms in college, there was a nasty bitch living in the same dorm as me, and like every day there was a tampon in one of the showers where she took out her tampon in the shower.
Ew.
Just left it in the shower.
That's gross.
That is gross.
Like, why? Throw that away. Don't be a nasty hoe.
There's a bin next to the door.
Take that shit out and toss it in there. Ew. Stop being a nasty bitch.
But you know what? Cleaning the bathrooms in that hotel, the men's bathroom was always gross.
I mean, yeah, but in my experience, from what I've seen, it's just like there's a lot of women's bathrooms. Like, I've been in some nasty ass men's bathrooms. Having been in both, compare, but I've seen some women's bathrooms that I look at and I go, nah, I'm good. I think part of it too is that because women sit down on toilets a lot more. So if you walk into there and you see a nasty ass toilet, a guy will just go, fuck it, I'm just going to stand up and piss and not touch anything. For girls, you just sit down on a toilet and you're going, I'm not touching that.
Hover.
I've learned that one in recent times. Because one of the things that, being trans, and this is going to get into some like a little murky area for me.
See, I drink a lot of water. I drink I fill these up like 2 or 3 times a day. So I need to pee a lot. If I'm somewhere and I need to pee, I really need to pee, and so I'm going to hover.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says. I'm hovering on that over that shit.
Kepke says every male bathroom I have ever been in was worse than the female, so that's what I base it off of. Fair. Jack says I've cleaned restrooms for a job. Women's restrooms is always worse. Hi, memes. How are you? Kepke says maybe it's just my school. I mean, maybe. Meme says used to work at a gym. Once a month we cleaned out the locker rooms. The men's locker room was gross. The women's locker room terrified me. And then Seamus just throws it out there as like, hey, let's be honest, all public restrooms are all cancer. I agree. They're just all terrible.
You know what? I have to say, the locker rooms at my gym, they're really clean. I like it because they clean.
That's good. If they keep on top of it and clean it regularly, it's not doesn't get so bad.
The ones on the wet side, because it's split into 2 sides. There's wet side and dry side. Wet side is where the pool is, obviously. So there's a wet side locker room.
Meme says, Tally, I too am a frequent urinator.
They take buckets and just fill up buckets from the pool water, and then they just chuck that shit on the floor. They've got floor drains, and then they just sweep it all up. Like, they do that constantly during the day. It's great.
But
it's always clean.
But like I said, as someone who's trans, can still stand up to pee, just a little FYI.
Just chooses not to.
It's not even that I choose not to. It is more convenient. Like, if I'm going in here, to my restroom, you bet your ass I'm not wasting time sitting down and shit if I don't have to. But at the same time, if I'm in a women's restroom, I'm not gonna, a public restroom, I'm not standing up to pee. Especially if there's someone else in that restroom. Because it's just not a thing you do. I don't want to draw any attention to myself. I'm in there to do my business and get out. Which is why I always get annoyed with super hyper conservative people who are trans people are going to go in there and rape all our women's. No, we don't give a shit. We're in there to do our business just the same as everybody else, and then get the fuck out.
the thing is, it's not actually legitimate trans women that do that.
It's not any women at all. It's not any trans women at all. Like, I cannot find a case of a trans person going into a public restroom and then raping someone.
It's
the only case that I've ever heard of was this.
It's always someone that isn't actually trans but claims to be trans.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was like this trans person who did this thing. So that, they raped somebody in a bathroom. But the problem is the bathroom was a bathroom in an apartment, not in a public place. So it doesn't count, in my opinion, towards the narrative of we're going in raping people. No, right. This person was in that person's house, and
that's a completely different situation.
And that person was a piece of shit, by the way. Just that
person was a piece of shit. That doesn't count, though.
Rapists are all pieces of shit. And
but the only people, the trans women that were raping women in bathrooms, they weren't actually trans. None of them are actually trans. They tend to be these big burly men that want to say that they're trans.
It's just dudes going, "Oh, I'm trans. Let me go in here to the women's restroom." And
a big burly man that does nothing except puts a dress on. And I understand sometimes you don't want to put in all of the effort, but most trans women, they put in some effort. They at least try to present as women, even when they're putting in no effort.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm putting in a lot of effort here, guys.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And you're not even wearing very much makeup either. I don't actually think you're wearing any at all.
I'm wearing makeup, just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you're still it's very little effort, but you're still presenting as a woman.
Kefki says
there are trans people that they claim to be trans. They're not actually trans, and they are the pieces of shit that do this.
Kefki says it's
a shield they can use.
Kefki says I hated the girls' bathroom because the girls would socialize and smoke, and I would just want to fucking pee. LOL. Yeah, I know, right? Jack says I like how Eve is settling arguments between men and women like she's a modern Tyresses. Oh no, I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to Google that. Meme says, on a lighter note, Pornhub's got weed now. Good for Pornhub.
Wait, what?
I think we're still presenting the article. Let me move back to our faces. But
Hikaru mentioned drag queens, but drag queens is performative. They don't actually. Most of them don't actually want to be women.
Yeah, most of them will still. Okay. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Tyresis was a blind prophet of Apollo in Thebes, famous for clairvoyance and for being transformed into a woman for 7 years. He was the son of a shepherd and a nymph.
A nymph is a kind of woodland fairy.
Yeah.
It's a fair folk.
So he was a unwilling tranny. Okay.
He was a dude that was turned into a woman.
Eve looks good and doesn't have to put on enough makeup to look like Mimi Bobek.
No, she does look great, doesn't she?
Thank you, guys. It's not even like a drag queens. At least drag queens, most of them are gay men and recognize, hey, I'm a gay man and I'm gonna go to the little drag queen's room rather than the women's restroom for the most part. But even then, it's not like they're gay. Why are they in there raping women? Most of them are gay.
They do.
So
most drag queens, they don't tend to say they say they're going to the little queen's room.
Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious.
But a queen is a gay man.
Yeah. They are of a very different breed than trans women. And that's one of the things that, little bit of soapbox here for Eve. It's one of the things that I dislike about drag queens is people frequently confuse drag queens with trans women, and they are completely different animals.
No, but trans women are
Drag
People that
queens are
perform
gay
there.
men playing dress up.
Yeah, basically, it's performative.
Yeah. Trans women are people who live their daily lives as this, and granted, some drag queens are trans,
There are drag queens that are.
but it's they end up becoming trans because they realize, you know, this is more than just a performative thing for me. This is actually something that I want to live in my daily life. And that was, you know, I went through similar exploratory things when I was coming out as trans.
Are you telling me you were a drag queen for a while?
I was a cross-dresser for a while. You know, would do it in my off time. I wasn't a drag queen. No, I wasn't going out in public. But
Technically, drag queens are just cross.
yeah, I would.
Yes, they are. They just
I thought maybe it was just a cross-dressing fetish that I had. But the more I explored it, the more I realized that wasn't just something I wanted as a sexual thing or as a temporary thing. It was something I wanted all the time. Was to be seen and perceived and live as women.
Gay men and want to do drag, they do it because they like makeup, hair, and clothes, and that's just fun. And they see women have more variety when it comes to what they can wear, so they just take that and they run.
Hi, Snow.
And some of what they come up with is incredible.
You came in an interesting conversation. Did you know, Snow, that men stare at each other's dicks in the locker room? It's true. Yeah, men talk about penises in the locker room. They go and discuss each other's junk and give it each other's junk nicknames and things and have a grand old time sitting there talking about their pee-pees in the locker room.
So if anyone would like to make
we know this because some doctor asked 8 dudes in London, half of them gay, what they talk about in the locker room. Did you know that, Snow? I didn't know you could get a sample size of 8 motherfucking people and use that as like a barometer for men across the world. 8 people in one city that probably, if I had to guess, came from the same goddamn locker room. Callie's dead over here.
I can't.
Which feminist vent made this shit up because she's embarrassed about naming her coots? Didn't make it up. It was okay. I need to be in CVC for this crap. I mean, and that brings us to our next thing. Tally was about to say, if you have any things you'd like to add to our stream, comments, questions, concerns.
You know what? Snow Pilot says he needs to be in voice chat for this crap. Come on then.
Comments, questions, concerns. You will find. I'm about to post the link to our Discord. We are approaching the call-in segment of our stream. So, 8 guys and 1 doctor. Yeah, it sounds like a porno, doesn't it?
All right, Snow Pilot's in the green room. Here he is.
Hi, Snow.
Hi, Snow.
All right.
Hold on, real quick. We are approaching the call-in segment of our show, so if you'd like to hop on and leave and make a comment, ask a question, you want to ask Tally how big her tits are, or how she manages to squeeze them into tops so tight as she has on today, now would be a really good time to pop in and ask.
It's actually too big.
Join our Discord, accept the rules, and hop in the green room there and voice chat, and you can join us for our call-in segment. And go, Snow.
Let me guess. This study was peer-reviewed, too,
oh, yeah.
wasn't
It was peer-reviewed. You know what that peer review was? A bunch of fucking gay dudes looking at each other's dicks. That's what the peer review was. Peer-viewed, man. Nice junk, bro.
Well, this
fucking
is...
what?
At the risk of pissing off the lady named Wojcicki, this is almost like a Rona study that sampled all of 48 kids. ages between 2 and 25. That was the sample size used to drive a policy decision.
But
I
we
mean,
know
it's
that
like
those
the
people have lesser effects and are more likely to recover.
Oh, this study was used to say this is bad for kids.
it's like the
It
the
was.
And shall we jump in the rollback in the Wayback Machine with me and bring up a little study by somebody named Mary Koss? Open the files, bitch. I want to see this. I want to see the results from the men you talked to, all 2 of them.
What?
yeah. Well, that was the
was
thing
this?
is that this particular peer-reviewed study was 8 guys. 8.
Yeah.
4 of them were gay.
That can't even be an accurate sample size for the simple reason men make up half the population.
Of course, the
Less
gay
than half.
guys are looking at everybody else's dicks.
All right, men make up 46% of the population. Gay men make up about 3% of the population of men. Not even.
But I just love how she ends. I'm sorry, he, Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Mr.
it was a man that
Kenny
wrote this
Kenny Thapong. He has obviously, given the tiny sample size, it's unfair to say all men do this. Still, it's interesting. It's an interesting sneak peek at how guys interact with each other. Plus, who knew there was so much penis talk happening in the locker room? Apparently not you, because you're not a man. You know, even though you're a man.
In the same locker room at one YMCA. I'm guessing probably in San Francisco.
It was
London.
Near Folsom. Oh, London. Oh, great.
They said for this small study, very gigantic, minuscule study, more like it, Christopher Morris Roberts conducted 1-hour interviews with 8 male athletes from around London, 4 heterosexual and 4 homosexual men, to see if penis size affects male behavior in a locker room. Apparently, this particular group of men all admitted to checking out each other's junk, or most of them admitted to checking out each other's junk. But it wasn't actually a way to size up other players. But it was actually a way to size up other players, both in terms of actual size and in terms of masculinity / athletic ability.
Bullshit.
No, don't get me wrong. There definitely, I know men do this. If you're in a locker room, and maybe when you're a teenager, maybe not so much when you get older, but as a teenager, you're definitely looking at the dudes around you to go, okay, how big am I compared? How do I measure up? But you don't talk about it. You don't draw attention to the fact that you're looking. Because that's how you get your ass beat.
This doctor apparently has never heard of a little thing called the bro code. And not that bro code, the rules for men when you go into a public restroom.
And that's what we were just talking about in chat right before you got here, was the rules for men. Like, don't go to the urinal right next to another dude.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Unless you have no other option. So there are exceptions to the rule about don't use the urinal right next to somebody else in a professional setting, and that's the only restroom on the floor, like in my current situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, everybody goes to the restroom right around lunch, and a lot of the rules just go out the window. Every other part of the day, you're minimum 1 urinal separation.
Yeah.
And there's another unwritten one: you don't use the urinal somebody else just vacated.
Yeah, it's a little like, unless it's super busy and everybody's just like, I gotta go, you know.
Yeah. Now, in a public environment, in a public restroom where there's probably another restroom at the other end of the building, and we're talking like highway rest stop here, you just walk out and go to the other restroom because there's probably one going to open up by the time you get there. But these, for all you ladies out there, all 3 of you in chat, possibly, maybe, I don't know. These are the unwritten rules that all guys seem to just know.
Yeah, and that's what I explained, is that even me, you know, it wasn't a thing of nobody ever had to tell you this. This was unwritten etiquette that you just know. You observe the behavior in the other men around you in the bathroom, and you do it. And that's like I said. Even my tranny ass figured that shit out.
I would be curious to know who funded this peer-reviewed air
Shit!
quotes
This
study.
motherfucker. This wasn't funded for shit.
This guy just wanted to
Motherfucker
talk.
did 8 one-hour
Yeah.
interviews. This motherfucker could have completed it in a single day. He could have taken a Saturday, gone and talked to these dudes, and then just said, "Here's my study."
I'm going to
Thing
go on a
is,
limb and say he
what
found a
gets-
sample on Tinder.
What gets me is they say it was peer reviewed, but it wasn't in a peer reviewed journal. It was published in a book.
It was published in a book, and you're gonna love the name of the book. Are you ready for this? No.
I can't have booze right now because I just took Tylenol for a
The
fucked up ear.
peer-reviewed study published in the book Jockocracy: Queering Masculinity and Sport. I rest my case. Tally is just dying.
Hey, Hikaru. I'm not saying hook me up, bro, but
Hook me up, bro.
hook me up, bro. I mean,
Well,
the-
yeah.
if I used studies as shitty as the ones coming out lately for my master's program,
Oh no, to be fair, this was 2014 when this article was written.
yeah, that's when I was finishing up my master's program. If I were to use studies like this,
You'd fail.
I would be laughed at. Like, nope, we're not even going to fail you. We're going to drop you, charge you for the course anyway. We're going to drop you so you don't embarrass yourself, and you're going to try it again next time.
Damn.
If I were to actually present a thesis, the way these idiots are making studies these days in my field, in front of people who have been in my industry for 20, 30, 40 years, they would get up, grab me by the scruff of the neck, and frog march me out the door. They wouldn't even just laugh. They would be too stunned to laugh until the senior guy in the room, or girl in the room, because they're women who won't put up with this shit either, would frog march me out of the room. There are no academic standards anymore. Right? As much as she's kind of gone off the deep end, Helen Pluckrose and James Lindsay, and I forget the other dude, highlighted this spectacularly with talking about the rape culture at your local dog park.
Oh, the fake articles that they put out that they just it
Yes.
was just word salad, and they would.
It was
they were
word
published
salad.
in peer-reviewed journals.
They literally took Mein Kampf, changed 2 or 3 words, and presented it as a study, and it was accepted as an academic journal article.
What the
Mein Kampf.
fuck? What the fuck?
Mein
get, like-
fucking Kampf.
Didn't they get
So
like
the words
8 of
peer-reviewed
these
mean
things
nothing
published?
anymore.
They mean absolutely jack
Not
shit.
not in social studies.
So, in case you're all wondering, what peer review is actually supposed to look at? Peer review is not to look at your conclusion. It's not what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's not what it's supposed to be for. Peer review is what you'll sometimes see Aidan Paladin talk about. It's a meta study. They are looking at your methodology. Is your sample size representative enough, right? Do you have a large enough sample size? Are you taking a good cross section? Is it at random or is it self-selected? That's the other thing. A lot of these studies you'll see coming out, they're self-selected studies. They put the shit up on the internet for anybody to click on it. Guess who tends to click on these studies? People who are already thinking about this shit. You go, oh my
Confirmation
god,
bias.
look at all these trans people who are talking about this, right? Because you look at your sample size, 93% of your respondents were trans.
Mm-hmm.
All 12 of them. All 12 of your respondents, 93% of your 12 respondents were trans. That's how they get this shit.
Yeah.
A peer review is supposed to look at that and go, nope, Gone. Bad method. Go away. You cannot stand by your conclusion because you have a flawed method. What they're doing now is looking at your conclusion. Is this in line with what the party is saying? Yes. Okay. Do your conclusions line up with my mindset? Yes. Okay. Do you have enough queer representation, which, according to this, they have oversampled, seriously oversampled?
I said that.
You're good.
Two things. I will be right back. And number two, as soon as we get done with this, Seamus is in the waiting room, so we'll pull him in next.
I know.
I'm sure he'll have a thing or two to say about this as well.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. But, like... Ah!
But it wasn't even put in a peer-reviewed journal. It was published in a book. They couldn't even get it in a peer-reviewed journal.
Because they didn't bother to try. I guarantee you, if they tried it in some American university, they'd have passed with no problem. You didn't get any... The whole grievance studies thing, little mind experiment thing, it didn't even teach these morons in academia that they're doing it wrong. And believe me, they're doing it wrong.
Well, you can't tell people that they're doing something wrong. It might hurt their feeling.
There once was a time when saying you had a degree
It meant something.
from Stanford, Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, that carried something.
Yep.
Now, if heaven forbid I am ever asked to review an applicant's resume at my job, because fucking hell, the first thing I'm looking at is where did they go to school?
And
That's the
years
first
ago,
thing I'm looking at.
If someone went to Yale or Princeton or any of these big universities back in the day, you'd say, interesting, let's shortlist this person.
Mm-hmm. Now
you're like,
Ben,
oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ben, your degree means nothing to me now. It is so bad right now, and here's where this gets really sick. Okay,
schools carry more weight than these universities do now.
Right, but you don't apply to a job like mine if you're coming from a trade school. But here's where this gets really bad, and where companies are really shooting themselves in the foot going forward. You have this push for more diversity. I'm probably piss a lot of people off here. I don't really care anymore.
No,
you have this push for diversity.
We piss people off all the time.
The pool is only so deep for certain positions. There are only so many women going into engineering, going into petroleum engineering, going into biomedical engineering. The pool is only so deep, and everybody's competing for the same people. So what do you end up doing? You lower the standards at the university to deepen the pool, because the demand is there. You need to increase the supply. You need to get more.
If they lower the standards to deepen the pool, they still have to do the same amount of work.
No, they don't.
And a lot of them end up dropping out because they can't keep up with the caseload.
No.
That does happen.
It does happen, but what ends up happening is the actual standards to complete the program get watered down. So in an engineering program like mine, I had one humanities credit that I had to take. There was an elective. I had to take tech writing. I had to take public speaking. See how well that one worked out. I had to take, and the rest were just engineering classes. They were like technical drawing and things like that. But I had one humanities elective to take. Now, there may be 4. And in engineering school, like, well, what humanities am I going to freaking take?
My sister's she's majoring in university in liberal arts and classic literature.
All right, since y'all are continuing to talk, I'm just going to go ahead and drag Seamus in, and we'll just add
Yeah,
it.
drop Seamus in.
I like. She told me that,
Hi,
and I
Seamus.
said, hi Seamus. She told me that. I was like,
I'm back.
you know that the only jobs available for those degrees are teaching those degrees.
Mhm.
Apparently, she thinks she's going to become a professor.
Real quick before I duck out, to Hikaru's point, there are 2 wrestlers for WWE that had graduated from Yale. The most highly educated actor in all of Hollywood is Dolph Lundgren.
Mm-hmm. He's a
Which is
chemical
funny.
engineer.
He's a chemical engineer.
He is more qualified to be called a science guy
Than Bill Nye.
than Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye has a bachelor's in mechanical
One degree.
engineering.
Yeah, a bachelor's.
That's it.
One.
One. Uno.
Th-
Yeah. Dolph
Dolph-
fucking Lundgren
He's
is.
got like 4.
Hikaru
awesome.
says, bro, I
Anyway.
think I need to light the bong for this shit.
That's what I was saying. It's like, Hikaru, I'm not saying hook me up, but can you hook me up? Because, man, after this one, my brain is just nope. And with that, I am going to nope my ass out of here and let y'all have fun with a certain Irishman. Laters.
Bye, Snow.
Nice.
Thanks for stopping by, sweetie. Hi,
Not
Seamus.
Irish, but okay.
Close enough. You got that glorious
Yeah.
red hair and beard, and your name is Seamus. You're close enough.
And in
Yeah,
your
good
profile
point.
picture, you're wearing green, and therefore you look like a
Oh, don't even say I'm a feckin' leprechaun.
you do look like a leprechaun.
I'm Scandinavian and Scottish.
Dirty damn Highlander.
Oh my god. I'm just white. I don't even know anymore. On the mutt.
Anyway,
Anyway, go on. What were your thoughts?
where were we going with this? Fucking this.
You were gonna ask Tally how big her
peer-reviewed
tits
my
are. Go.
ass.
Yeah, peer reviewed
Wait,
my
Yes,
ass.
but very nice.
You know what? I think it's safe to say that when you said which one are we going to focus on, and I said this one, I think yeah. I know our audience.
Mm-hmm.
Calling this peer-reviewed is like, I have no words. I haven't gone to college at all. And I know the difference between a truly peer-reviewed study and this shit.
Yeah. Like well, it's like, you know, it's like Snow said, you know, peer reviewed, especially like what Tally added, you know, in social sciences doesn't mean anything anymore. Peer reviewed just means that they said, oh, well, this is our confirmation bias here that matches up with what we think it should say, not actually checking to see if the methodology used in said survey and experimentation was appropriate. In this case, it should not have been peer-reviewed, but they slapped the words peer-reviewed on there because it makes it look better.
Pretty
Oh yeah,
much.
no, it was just a selling point for them.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Holy shit, do I have cottonmouth though?
Yeah.
It's so bad.
That's why I'm
So
drinking
much
water.
weed was consumed in this.
Drink some water. Be feel
And-
better.
And that is why you want 2 water bottles or cups.
Hydrate. Well, let's be fair, Tally. One of those is full of alcohol. And then she's like, I don't know what you're
Not
talking
tonight,
about.
they're not.
I had 2 nips to start with and realized this conversation was going to take a lot more than 2 nips.
It's like, what was it, Raziel? I think was it you or was it Raziel who asked how much am I going to need to drink? One of you asked
No,
that.
that was me.
It was you. Okay.
I asked how much I was going to need to drink.
So do I need a shot or no, a bottle?
A whole bottle.
It was peer reviewed by the doctor's gay brother. Done. Exactly.
My left testicle has better peer review skill than these nuts.
Accurate.
And also, Jack Gansky is in the green room.
Gunsky.
You want me to drag him in here with you too?
Fuck it,
Sure.
why not?
Okay. We'll just make it a party. Hi, Jack.
Make it a New Hampshire party up in here.
Hey. Wait, who?
Hey,
Are you
Gunsky.
New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on.
And now they know they're close enough to each other to meet up for a bear.
I
do
don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you
what do
can
you
get a
think is-
sandwich while he drinks a beer. Jeez, you know.
Well, I'm also fat, so.
Hey,
Oh, there
cheers
you
to
go.
that.
It works.
Yeah.
Hey. I don't drink beer anymore. Alright?
Just,
It's
just
only the whiskey.
yeah, is it just hard liquor?
I'd rather have a sandwich too, though.
Not gonna lie, so would I.
Yeah. I never understood the draw of alcohol, to be perfectly honest. I tasted it and it tasted disgusting, and I was like, why do you drink it? And people are like, oh, you get used to it. Well, why would you get used to it?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I don't like beers. Like they have
Yeah,
bad.
4 years
bitter
in the Marine
taste.
Corps taught me how to drink alcohol. And
Yeah.
like it.
I like stuff that actually has flavor to it when it comes to drinks.
I
Like, there are a
like
couple of-
wine.
There are a couple of
Yeah,
like.
Prosecco.
Strawberry daiquiris and wine are for women.
I'm not a big
I
wine
also
person
like
either.
Prosecco. I like Prosecco.
I like Midori. I like what is it? The fucking Jack Daniels has those ones that are like
Honey
Oh,
Jack.
Tennessee
they're
honey.
pre-mixed.
yeah, they're like pre-mixed things, but they taste so sweet and they don't taste like
They're not
alcohol
bad.
at all. And I'm
I
like,
like
oh no,
Honey Jack.
I can get in
Honey
trouble
Jack.
with this.
And Seamus is right. Daiquiris.
I like
Yes.
mudslides too. Mudslides are fun. They're chocolatey and taste good.
No, I've tasted the drinks that don't taste like alcohol, and they taste like alcohol to me.
There's always going to be a little bit of alcohol taste to them, but most of the, like 90% of it is not alcohol. And it's to the point where I'm like, yeah, I can tolerate the little bit of alcohol aftertaste for the little bit of buzz that I get.
The reason British people are such assholes when they go on holiday where it's warm is because the entire time we're there, we'll drink cocktails, and it's basically just fruit juice with a shitload of alcohol in it. And 9 times out of 10, you can't even taste the alcohol. So you down those fuckers like it's fruit juice, and then you're hammered and you act like an ass.
Except for me, I act like a slut, which I found out the hard way because I was always afraid to drink with my friends because at the time, for the longest time, I was closeted trans girl, and I didn't want it to like come out in conversation or something like that because I was drunk. So the longest I wouldn't drink. But then after I came out, I actually started opening up and drinking with my friends a little bit. And I was afraid, because I have depressive issues, maybe I'll be a sad drunk. I have anger issues. Maybe I'll be an angry drunk. No, I'm a horny drunk. It's
so
bad.
You wanna get a drink?
Horny drunks are
Yeah.
fun.
Your horny drunks are fun.
I am a skank when I'm drunk, and I'm just
No,
like,
you know
hey, how
what?
you? I one time at a party,
See,
the worst thing I think I ever
horny
did.
drunk is why I don't drink Prosecco very often.
I had this one friend, her and her boyfriend, they like me a lot. But I wasn't like into the boyfriend, but the girl was kind of cute, and she said it before. She's like, I would totally make out with you, and I was just like, at the party, and I'd had a few drinks, and I was like feeling my oats, and I said, fuck it. I grabbed her and just dipped and locked lips, and her boyfriend was like he was standing right there. He went, oh, nice. And she was like, whoa. I was like, and when I was done, I was like, I'm sorry. I realized I probably should have said something before that. She's like, you're fine. Wow.
You know what? I get like that when I drink Prosecco, and that's why I very rarely drink Prosecco.
But I'm very handsy. I'm very
Noted.
huggy. I like, give
When we
massages
get
and
Tally
stuff.
to America, get her Prosecco.
No. Prosecco just makes me want to take my clothes off, but that's fun for everyone that's involved.
That was my point.
Oh, goodness. But now I have a girlfriend to channel all those energies into, so.
See, my other half knows that, and my other half knows that.
And he's just like stocking up
yeah.
on Prosecco.
No, he's like, everyone involved? It's like, you mean me? And it's like, yeah, that's everyone. I mean, that is yeah, it's like, I'm involved, you're involved, that is everyone involved. My statement still stands true.
Oh, goodness. Egypt says, I just drink whiskey neat 99% of the time. Just whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Cap says, drinking
is
party at
amusing
Eve's
how-
only if Kayla's present, so I have somebody to channel my energies into, because otherwise I've actually gone to the point of like, okay, now that I'm in a relationship, I don't want to say or do anything stupid. So I don't really do more than like a beer with friends, Excuse me.
You alright?
Yeah,
Don't
sorry.
die.
I decided to choke on the water I
amusing.
drank.
It is amusing how different alcohols affect different people.
See, I can drink anything, I just get pensive.
Yeah.
You get what?
What,
I
you
just
mean,
get like
the,
recluse.
the faux pensive where you
Pensive.
just wonder kind of the I'm 14 and
good
this
when I
is
do that.
deep kind of thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I promise I've not been
I'm a
drinking.
quiet drunk. I'm the quiet drunk. Until I get into tequila, and then it's game over.
What does tequila do?
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, floor.
Accurate.
Have you never had tequila? Because
I have had tequila. Yeah. Tequila. It makes me happy.
I only know of tequila as that drink that people drink right before they have a story to tell. They
Yeah,
drink
usually,
it,
Uh-huh.
and then the next day they have a story to tell.
usually you don't remember the story, and your friends have to tell you what the story was.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's always going to be an interesting story if it starts with, so we were drinking tequila.
Yep. That's the thing, is that everybody's story that starts with this is like, you about to do something stupid, aren't you, in this story?
Well, the same thing goes
Another
for
one
vodka
like that?
and most people.
You know what? Another one is absinthe. If someone says, so it all started with drinking absinthe, oh, you know it's going to be a crazy story. You know it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, see, in my usual friend circles, there's a lot of other substances usually involved.
Cap says he just wants the shoulder rub from me being drunk, and I said I'll get those on request. I love giving massages to people, and then people actually applaud my ability to rub your shoulders and really just kind of knead the muscles right up in here, and
You're very handsy when
That's
you're
because
drunk.
you've got the
Just-
hands.
I'm just more
Jen-
handsy when I'm liquored up. It was funny because at that same party where I kissed that friend of mine, I had one other friend whose fiance, he was there, and I'm just going by rubbing everybody's shoulders. They're all sitting around the dining table playing a board game. I'm just rubbing everybody's shoulders, and I was rubbing him, and she's sitting across, and she's like, you need to let him rub your shoulders. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, seriously, try it. And so we swapped. He stood up, I sat down in his chair, and he starts rubbing my shoulders, and I told him he had to stop
Yeah.
about 5 seconds into it.
Oh.
Because I was like, look, I like women, but you gonna make me change my mind with them hands. I was like, I am too drunk for this. No. I said, I looked at it, I said,
Things are
LJ,
going
I'm gonna take
sideways.
I said, LJ, I'm gonna take your fiance from you. I promise. I'm finna get up from this table and walk into that other room and like put some ice on my head or something, cause his hands were, she was not kidding, were magic. Like I said, I don't like dudes, but damn.
We found someone that made Eve question her sexuality.
No, that was Polydub. He did that.
Mm.
But
Really? I
Polydub
thought it
does
was
I'm
that
not
to
kidding.
everyone.
It's true. Polydub does that to everybody. I love Polly. He's one of my best friends. But
He's definitely a bard.
he has
Very charismatic.
very charismatic.
He's a good guy if you can find him.
Yeah, if you can
I
find
talk to him almost every night. You know, at least every other night. I don't know what your problem is. The thing is, Jack, is you're not a vampire like me. I don't see Polydub
Yeah,
until 3 or
Polly
4
does
o'clock in the
that,
morning.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning shit.
I don't talk to Polydub until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Normally, I see Polydub online early in the morning, where like before I go to work. See, the only time I've ever spoken to, really gotten the chance to speak to him, is on a Saturday morning when I don't actually have to be at work. Didn't actually have to be at work until 8, and I got there at 7. So I was sitting in the car an hour early because it was normal for me to start at 7. So I forget.
But yeah, you know, vampires and demons come out at night, and that's where I end up encountering otters too. Apparently, the otter is nocturnal, so because he's up till like 8 o'clock, and I'm up till like 8 o'clock in the morning, like this morning. I was back when I went to bed. It's 8
Otters aren't
o'clock.
nocturnal. Technically, otters aren't nocturnal. I can't remember what the word is, but deers do the same, where they only come out at dawn and dusk.
Ah, fair. He's there at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and is still up when I'm going to bed. I'm like, all right. He's like, we're gonna watch this video. I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed because I'm a zombie at this point.
He's an unusual otter.
He'll be up
he's an-
till like 10 a.m.
He has a strain of beaver mixed in
He'll be up till
because
like 10 a.m.
beavers
That'll do
because
it.
beavers are completely nocturnal.
Yep, that'll do it.
So, I think we're gonna get out of here.
I think, yeah,
It's
Yeah,
time.
It is time.
it is time. It is time.
We were having
for
so much
it.
fun. We just went
Okay.
over a little bit, the normal hour and a half. But thank you
To be
so
fair,
much.
it was a very. To be fair, it was a very good subject.
It was a very good subject. Great stream. We had a lot of fun. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to say I will be on Lords of the Night tonight. I'm 95% sure it's going to be on Satsu 2 Senses channel, which I'll just put it in the chat there. Come check me out at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern over there on Satsu's channel for Lords of the Night. They are actually, from what I've been told, they're ending their show at the end of this month.
Really?
Yeah, they're not doing Lords of the Night anymore.
Why?
I'm not sure. I actually haven't had the chance to talk to him about it. I'm going to talk to him about it tonight. Ask them what's going on,
Ooh.
and you know, I think that's part of the reason why Scribe wanted me to come on, was because you know they're wrapping up, so they want to have friends of the show and people who've been on before and things like that. So,
You grill them, Eve. You grill those suckers.
yeah, I wanna. You know, they're my friends. You know, I want to find out what's going on. But yeah, I'm gonna be over there in probably about 2 hours. So yeah, right at a little less than 2 hours. So go check it out. If you aren't subscribed to Satsu and or Scribe, you know you really should be, because they make fantastic content. Scribe likes to do a lot more of intellectual conversation stuff, and some of it pisses me off to hear some of the things that intellectual people are saying. You know,
Pseudo
they're
I
pseudo
don't
intellectual,
understand
but
how,
they're,
His-
they're perceived
I
as
don't
intellectual.
understand how when he does his TED
TEDx's-
talks, I simultaneously get smarter and dumber at the same time.
Yep. There was one of them he invited me on for, and I was there for 2 hours, and I was like, you know, I had to do a Twitch stream tonight. I think I ended up canceling my stream that night because I was just like, that sapped all of my energy to sit there and listen to that dumb shit that those people were spouting for 2 hours and then to sit there and discuss it. And it was insane. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I want to say thank you to Seamus, Jack, and Snow for popping in and talking with us. Thank you to my lovely co-host, Miss Talita Constantine. And thank you to all of you in the chat who come and listen to us every week and hang out with us. And we love you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. And
It's true, we wouldn't.
we
And
love
we
doing
love
this
you
show.
all.
So, before we go, I need to reach over and poke my across the sea. Boop. Poke my co-host there, and I think that's about all we've got. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later.
Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.